Good evening. I'm Ed Nottingham, Chairman of the A&N Electric Co-op Board. On behalf of my fellow directors and the cooperative leadership team, we want to thank you for taking time to be with us this evening. We have reached a quorum through mail-in proxies. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Cooperative's annual business meeting. At this time, I'll call on the Cooperative's 2023 annual business meeting to order and ask Gary Drummond to offer our invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everybody. Great to see you all out this evening. Excuse me. Well, whatever it is, I'll get it in a minute. Would you please bow your heads and pray with me? Most gracious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together this evening, and we humbly ask your blessings at our 2023 annual meeting. Be with us as we conduct the business affairs of A&N Electric Cooperative and guide us in the right direction as we continue to learn more about our cooperative and the changing world of energy. In thy holy name we pray, amen. I would like to give special thanks this evening to any active duty, reservist, retired military, first responder, or healthcare workers listening today. Thank you for your service to our country, and please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. I will now turn the meeting over to Chris Bott, our District 1 representative and Vice Chairman of the Board, for the board introductions. Chris? Just adjust it any way you want to.
Good evening. I'm Chris Bott, Director from District 1 and Vice Chairman of the Board. It is my pleasure to introduce your Board of Directors and Cooperative Fraternity. Chairman Addison Nottingham, District 3. Secretary Treasurer Ralph Dodd, District 4. Gary Drummond, District 2. Greg Duncan, District 1. Mark Hickman, District 1. Penny Holland, District 4. Ted Shockley, District 3. Cody Murphy, our cooperative attorney, and also our cooperative senior staff that is here with us today. We'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome our guests in attendance, our former A&M President and CEO, Vernon Brinkley. I believe he's over there. Our ODEC President and CEO, Marcus Harris. Accomack County Administrator, Mike Mason. And our Virginia, Maryland, Delaware Association of Electrical Cooperatives President and CEO, Brian Mosier. I will now hand the meeting over to Secretary Treasurer Ralph Dodd for the Secretary's report. Thank you very much.
My name is Ralph Dodd, Secretary Treasurer for the Board. Pursuant to the Cooperative's bylaws, official notice is given prior to the annual business meeting in the August edition of Cooperative Living Magazine. This is the official notice. The annual membership meeting of A&N Electric Cooperative will be held at the A&N Electric Cooperative headquarters located at 21275 Cooperative Way in Tasley, Virginia, 23441 on Thursday, August 24th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. to take action on the following matters: reports of officers, directors, and committees, the election of 3 directors of the cooperative, all other business that may be properly come before the meeting or any adjournments thereof. Ralph Dodd, Secretary, June 24th, 2023. At this time, I will offer the reading of the unapproved minutes of the previous meeting of the members and taking of necessary action thereon. In the interest of time, I will entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting and approve the minutes as written? Thank you. Is there a second to the motion? Thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please signify by saying no. The ayes have it, motion carried. Last year's annual meeting minutes are available on the Cooperative's website for your convenience. And now Credential and Election Chairperson Tobby Webb will give the C&E Committee report.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me? I'm Tobby Webb, Chair of the C&E Committee, and I will be giving the C&E Committee report. The C&E Committee met on May 10th, 2023 to certify director candidates to be elected at this evening's meeting. There's one seat eligible for election in each of the following districts: District 1, District 2, and District 3. To be eligible to serve on the board, a candidate must meet specific criteria listed in the Cooperative's bylaws. The C&E Committee found that the slate of candidates met these qualifications and certified the slate of candidates to the Cooperative's Independent Nominating Committee. On May 11th, 2023, the Cooperative's Independent Nominating Committee met and nominated the following candidates to be placed on the ballot of the 2023 director election. Residing in District 1, Greg Duncan. Residing in District 2, Keith Kalana. Residing in District 3, Ted Shockley. There were no nominations made by petition. The C&E Committee met on August 22nd to certify the count of proxies returned by the members. The proxies were certified and counted by the accounting firm of Leatherberry & Broach, with a report of the count provided to the committee. The total proxy count was 1,877. Total members registered tonight are 8, giving us a total of 1,885. This completes the C&E Committee report. I'll now ask that Cooperative Attorney Cody Murphy conduct the director election.
Good evening. My name is Cody Murphy. I'm the Cooperative Attorney, and I'll be conducting this year's director election. There are currently 9 director seats on the board. Pursuant to the Cooperative's bylaws, a director's term is 3 years, and the director's terms are staggered. On February 23rd, 2023, the Board of Directors, in accordance with the bylaws, appointed a committee for nominations to fill each of the 3 open director positions, which are in District 1, District 2, and District 3. Under the Cooperative's bylaws, nominations of director candidates are accomplished through either the Cooperative's Independent Nominating Committee or by a written petition, which must be submitted no less than 75 days prior to the annual meeting. All nominees are then publicized in the July edition of the Cooperative Living magazine as required by the bylaws. Since all nominations are accomplished well in advance of the annual meeting, in accordance with the bylaws, nominations from the floor at the annual meeting are prohibited. As you've heard tonight, the nominating committee met on May 11, 2023 and selected the slate of candidates to be placed on the ballot of the 2023 director election. The slate of candidates was then published in the July edition of Cooperative Living magazine. Additionally, in July, each of the candidates' bios were sent to all the Cooperative's members, along with the director election proxy form. Moving on to the director election, and in accordance with the Roberts Rules of Order, nominees without contest may be elected by acclamation. As a result, and because each candidate nominated for the 2023 director election is uncontested, do I hear a motion to elect the following unopposed candidates by acclamation? Mr. Gregory L. Duncan Sr. for District 1, Mr. Stuart Keith Kalana for District 2, Mr. W.E. Ted Shockley III for District 3. I hear a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor of electing the uncontested candidates by acclamation say aye. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Mr. Duncan, Mr. Kalana, and Mr. Shockley are elected by acclamation to the Board of Directors for Districts 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the election of directors.
Thank you. It's been my honor to serve as chairman of the Cooperative Board of Directors for another year. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the board for their support and hard work. I also want to commend our cooperative employees for their consistent drive to keep the lights on in each and every one in our community. About 1 year ago, our dedicated folks here responded to a tornado damage on Smith Island. Our team on the islands jumped into action immediately after the storm and were able to isolate the damage and get parts of the island back on while more help arrived from the mainland. And they came to make necessary repairs. It's the same response time and time again through rain, wind, snow, and ice. And our membership knows how hard our folks work to keep the lights on. Despite the hazards our team faces on a daily basis, I'm extremely proud to report that our employees have maintained no lost time on the job for 2 consecutive years. Please join me in giving them an applaud for that. That's quite an accomplishment when you think about all the work they do. This year, the board voted to retire $2.57 million in general capital credits. That means that you, our co-op members, received a portion of this retirement in the form of a bill credit based on the amount of energy that you purchased and the number of years you have been a co-op member. This refund was distributed on the July electric service bills. To date, the cooperative has retired over $33 million in capital credits to our membership. Turning to education, I'd like to highlight the academic achievements in our service territory. This year, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware Association of Electric Cooperatives awarded scholarships to 2 local students. With that, we've been able to help support nearly 25 local students over the past 6 years through the scholarship fund. On the topic of youth opportunities, we are happy to continue our support of the Cooperative Youth Tour in Washington, D.C. This year, we sponsored 3 local student delegates who toured the nation's capital and learned about the history of electric cooperatives. We will be attending schools' open houses later this month to spread the word about the youth tour to prospective students. Please visit our website and social media to watch a video highlighting this year's trip and to learn more about this exciting opportunity. I would also like to commend our recent Gaff and Go rodeo and Gaff and Go teams. This year, 7 of our linemen competed in the regional Gaff and Go rodeo through a journeyman team and individual apprentice competitions. This event was an incredible learning and teamwork building exercise for our linemen and test their skills in a variety of challenges, real-world scenarios. This group of young men represented our cooperative well in this event, and we're proud of them. I also like to highlight the efforts of Art Thornton, an AMI technician for the cooperative, who led our award-winning Gaff and Go barbecue team. Art and his team worked hard and earned 2 third-place awards and an overall best in show in this year's competition. I'm also proud to help guide another organization that is crucial to our co-op community, Members Helping Members. Members Helping Members is a community nonprofit organization. It was established to help families who need assistance in paying their electric service bills. This would not be possible without the help of our generous membership, and the Members Helping Members Board of Directors would like to thank you for your continued support. In 2022, Members Helping Members received more than $71,000 in donations and matching grants. Thanks to our generous communities and supporters, Members Helping Members was able to assist 283 families by distributing over $63,000 in electric service bill aid. The Members Helping Members Board thanks the Department of Social Services in Accomack and Northampton counties and the community for your service to such a worthy organization. This concludes my chairman's report. Now Secretary Treasurer Dodd will give the treasurer's report. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to give the Cooperative's 2022 Treasurer's Report. Revenue in 2022 was $84.2 million, which was about $9 million higher than the previous year. Revenue can increase or decrease in any given year since it's dependent on several factors. One, as you know, the main factor is weather, which can cause co-op members to use more or less energy. Other factors affecting revenue are the number of members along with surcharges and energy adjustments that are passed through from our power supplier, Old Dominion Electric Cooperative. This includes the sudden spike in natural gas prices, which affected the cost of electricity production during the year. We've since seen those prices level out and start to decrease, which led to a decrease in the power cost adjustment at the beginning of this month. Total expenses for last year were $81.7 million. This was an increase of about $9.7 million from the previous year. Our power cost in 2022 was $58.9, which represents 72% of the cooperative's total expenses. Considerable effort is spent by your management team to control cost and expenses. Total operating margins for 2022 were about $2.5 million, which have been allocated proportionally to members based on total patronage. Equity represents our ownership in the cooperative. At 2022 year-end, member equity was $81 million, which is an increase from the previous year. While we continue to weather some inflationary pressures, A&N Electric Cooperative ended 2022 in a healthy financial position. This concludes the Treasurer's report. I will now turn the meeting over to President and CEO Butch Williamson.
Thank you, Ralph. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for those who are in attendance. And tonight I want to thank WSR for streaming our meeting tonight to those folks at home. I'm Butch Williamson, President and CEO. Here at A&N, we're faced with many challenges, but we're committed to you to make sure you receive reliable, responsive, and efficient service, which allows us all to work and play in one of the most beautiful communities within the Delmarva region. No matter if you were born here or consider to come here, I think we all agree this is a special place. A&N has over 82 years of service to this community, and our mission has not changed: enhance our community through safe, reliable electric service at the lowest possible price. Changing demographics, legislation, and strict regulations influences our strategic direction to meet your needs. While 2022 was a year that we were hoping to be back to normal from free of COVID, we continue to see the effects of supply and demand strains, which has placed increased pressure on our materials cost, as well as our delays in shipments. Our staff has worked hard and quickly to make sure that we had the necessary equipment for any potential new development, but more importantly, be ready for storm restorations and unforeseen maintenance issues. Due to these issues, other utilities within our region has had residential and commercial development postponed for the lack of standard utility equipment. Over the last 18 to 24 months, we have seen costs in all categories increase significantly, and the energy market was not shielded from these pressures. Most utility energy costs alone within the region has seen increases of as much as 50% or more. Fortunately, as a member of Old Dominion Electric Co-op, as we know as ODEC, we saw much lower increases. A&N was shielded with hedging strategies that softened our costs to the 15 to 25% range. That is the value of being a member of ODEC. I'm happy to report that as August 1st, as mentioned earlier, and so is Ralph, and for the remainder of the year, that these costs are coming down when it concerns to power cost. We also rely heavily on technology that provides our personnel with better information for quicker outage recovery, and the integration of these systems provide efficiency and better accuracy for planning and response. With the full deployment of our advanced metering infrastructure and software upgrades, we integrate real-time communications to help us direct crews to affected areas for quicker restoration times. These systems also provide us information for enhanced billing and member services, as well as data to staff for proactive communications. The task of managing trees near our lines help us to reduce blinks and outages. Within any year, we've had 100 miles of lines right-of-way were maintained and hundreds of trees were removed that had the potential to cause issues. Maintaining 2,500 miles of line here on the shore is a never-ending task. We routinely review our vegetation management and on its effectiveness, which is supported by our knowledgeable staff and practices that we've adopted through our continued certification through Treeline USA. Be sure to listen out for the date of next year's Arbor Day Member Appreciation Event, which will be held right here in this facility at our office. This year's event saw hundreds of you meet with your board, you chatted with our staff, and you walked away with tree seedlings to plant, as well as information on valuable community services. Those that attended, I'd like to thank you, and I also like to give a special thanks to Mark Belknap, who traditionally manages that event. Thank you, Mark. If you missed the Arbor Day event, be sure to visit us at the upcoming Eastern Shore Agriculture Fair, which is scheduled for Saturday, October 7th. This event will be held at the Northampton Middle School in Melchompongo from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will have employees on hand to talk about co-op happenings. We're going to provide some giveaways and climbing demonstrations, as well as a special appearance of Solar Sam and LED Lucy. So mark your calendars. As always, affordability is a critical measure of our success. We're always looking for opportunities to do more with less while not impacting our service to you. As mentioned in previous years, value-added services will help you manage your energy needs, enhance reliability, and provide peace of mind for any lifestyle. Programs such as Surge Assist and GeneraLink help to provide a peace of mind when their storm causes chaos through electrical damage or having on-site standby power when needed. Just give us a call to find out more. We have dedicated staff to assist you by understanding where your energy dollars go with a basic home and commercial audit. We also have other resources that are available for home improvements and upgrades, so just give us a call. Budget and prepaid billing, special payment arrangements, and members helping members fundings, as was mentioned earlier, may be available by contacting our office or contacting your social services folks in your county. These programs are designed to assist through struggling times and challenges. Earlier I'd mentioned ODEC, and again tonight we have representatives from Old Dominion Electric Co-op. I'd like to thank all of them for their support, especially Marcus Harris and his staff. Marcus and ODEC continue to take the lead role in looking forward to our efforts in our power supply world. Today, ODEC continues without regulatory mandates to obtain power from renewable solar, wind, landfill gas at much reasonable cost. ODEC's mission is to provide stable power that strikes the appropriate balance between environmental concerns and cost. ODEC continues to move forward to its goal to reduce its greenhouse emissions, seeking to achieve 50% reduction from 2005 by 2030 and net zero by 2050. On a related note, I am proud to announce that the Cooperative Sunshare Program, also known as your community solar program, is fully approved and now available to both residential and commercial accounts that have a desire to purchase renewable energy to support ongoing and future development. This is great for those of you who can't afford or have adequate space for on-site solar. If you're interested in adding solar as part of your power supply, just give us a call, or for more details, go online to anec.com and search for Cooperative Sunshare. Also, we have expanded our electric fleet this year, including a Ford hybrid truck. If those of you hadn't seen it, we have one right in the back here today. We're excited about this technology, and we look forward to seeing if this application is a balanced transition to our type of work and its durability. We will have more information on this transition in the future, so please stand by. As mentioned earlier, our number one priority is safety among our staff and our community. We spend most of our time planning and making sure we do things right. With that said, I too want to congratulate our team members for 2 years. That's over 290,000 work hours and 1.2 million miles of driving without a lost time incident. And that's a great accomplishment. On top of this, your A&N staff are also some of the most compassionate, dedicated, and responsive people that I've had a chance to work with. They're committed to our community. Any given day, our employees serve our community through fundraising events, volunteering to be mentors, or coach organized sports. Lighting the Way, which is the name of our charitable organization of employees, is not the name, but it's what they do. They light the way. We routinely ask you how we're doing. If you contact us, you may get a survey, and your feedback always allows us to better serve you. And trust me, we hear it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our team uses this information to drive changes in our processes, how we operate, and how we can enhance communications to you. This is our way of immediately responding to our changing environment. This also tells us how we compare to other utilities. Since 2016, we have continued to see our satisfaction score climb. So thank you for your input, and thanks to the staff for listening and responding to our members. We, along with you, do not want to see rate changes, but rate structures should follow how we use energy. As the electric utility industry continues to change, we continue to see changes in the decreasing kilowatt-hour sales. Traditional volumetric charges collect revenue needed to cover the cooperative's fixed cost. This allocation of revenue within the current rates is needed to coincide with our standard fixed allocated cost. This change will assist in stabilizing the revenue by reducing the change on the KWH charge and adding it to a fixed monthly access charge. For example, when this is implemented, the proposed rate adjustment on a standard residential bill with usage over 450 kilowatt hours will see a decrease in that bill as compared to the same cost and usage today. The higher the usage, the more the overall rate will decrease. Just for information, not all rates will be affected by this change, and more than 2/3 of our membership will see a decrease in their bill this year. In the coming months, we will provide more information through our Cooperative Living publication and local media outlets. This filing, if approved by the State Corporation Commission, is planned to take effect on January 1, 2024. A&N is still projected, as compared to other utilities in the regions, to have favorable rates. We recognize that you depend on us for affordable electricity that powers your homes and businesses, and without it, your quality of life and ability to earn a living are affected. We're committed to keeping your electricity affordable, and we value your trust and confidence in doing this. We're also committed to making sure we learn and adopt and implement sound technology which drive grid resiliency and security. We also plan to deploy renewables with energy storage systems and the evolution of EVs with a supported charging infrastructure at home on the road. These are just a few projects that we're actively pursuing for the future in transition. As you can see, A&N has a lot going on to make sure that we make sound decisions, meet your needs while providing affordable electric service. As always, we welcome your calls or simply stop by to discuss any of your concerns or how we can help. I look forward to working with your electric board of directors and to their leadership and focusing on doing what is best for you. So in closing, I just want to say a special thanks to my family, Cheryl, Caroline, and Bryson, for being there and understanding about my dedication to the cooperative and the responsibilities that I have, especially as it relates to the Eastern Shore. So I thank you for your kind attention, but mostly thank you for the opportunity to serve you, the owners of A&N. So keep the faith and be safe. And now I'll turn it back over to Mr. Nottingham, who will continue the business for tonight.
to continue with the general business meeting. There has been no old or unfinished business brought before the board. We will now adjourn the business portion of this annual meeting, and a question and comment period will follow. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Do we have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, the ayes have it.